Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my channel. This is Tanush, and today we'll be discussing about the Mars and Rahu conjunction, which is going to happen in the sign of Aries, starting from tomorrow, that is 27th of June, until 10th of August, right? And this conjunction has its own significance, and we need to manage this conjunction properly and utilize it in a proper way. So if we don't channelize the energy, because we'll be seeing, this, it's a huge aggressive energy. So if we don't channelize this energy in a proper direction, then it has the capacity to do immense damage, on different fronts wherever the conjunction is happening, right? So why do I say that? So let us analyze what Rahu means, what Mars means, and what the sign of Aries means, and what happens when actually these two planets, aggressive planets, Mars and Rahu, they conjunct with each other in the sign of Aries, right? So we all know that Rahu is a magician. Rahu is a materialistic planet which wants everything very easily. So it's never satisfied with any kind of achievement. It always hankers for more, right? So that is the nature of Rahu, and mainly Rahu actually doesn't hesitate to take unfair means to achieve things, right? So Rahu wants to take shortcuts. Rahu sees what are the different ways in which I can achieve things quite easily, and then it actually encourages us to take that path, so that we can achieve things. And it is never satisfied. No matter how much we achieve, it's never satisfied, right? And so that is basically the nature of Rahu. Now, when we come to Mars, Mars is a very aggressive energy. It's a fiery planet. It represents fire. It represents aggression, right? It's a very angry planet. It represents soldiers. It represents, the ability of a person to perform certain tasks. It's like a soldier in the war zone, which does anything and everything to win the battle. So that is the nature of Mars. And Mars is actually quite important for everyone in general, in our horoscope, because Mars gives us that energy, that determination, that courage, to achieve things, not to give up, to be persistent, to persevere, and to achieve things which are quite impossible. So if Mars is placed in a very good spot in your chart, then you'll have these kind of qualities in you, right? So you can achieve many things, and especially if Mars is placed in the 10th house, this kind of people, they achieve many things in their career. So they have a lot of achievements, list of achievements, they have, right? So now Mars and Aries is a fiery sign which almost represents what Mars represents, right? So now Mars is moving from the sign of Pisces into the sign of Aries, and it is already in the process of crossing the Gandanta point, wherein whenever a planet moves from a water sign to a fiery sign, it has to cross that boundary which is known as Gandanta point. And when it crosses that particular point of few degrees, a lot of karma is actually unfolded. So we can see many sudden events or many responsibilities coming in during this period, especially this 3-4 periods are quite turbulent, and it might have starting from yesterday. So you can actually verify with what is happening in your life. So these 3 or 4 days will be quite turbulent, quite disturbing. Some new responsibilities might crop up. So just relax. Don't take it very seriously. Now, when Mars actually moves to the sign of Aries, where Rahu is situated, Rahu and Mars, they combine in the sign of Aries. So Mars is fire, and Rahu is air. So Rahu actually it encourages Mars, and it increases the fiery nature of Mars. So what Rahu does, because we have already discussed what Rahu represents, Rahu wants to achieve things by taking shortcuts, and Rahu amplifies the qualities of a planet with which it conjoins, or with which it comes in conjunction with. So now it amplifies the qualities of Mars, and it adds its flavor to the Mars. So now what happens is, now Mars is actually ready to do anything and everything to actually achieve things specific to the house in which the conjunction is happening and the house it aspects, right? So that is one thing. Second, Mars becomes excessively aggressive when it is in conjunction with Rahu. And in general, I mean, don't take it literally, but in general, it gives a lot of aggression, right? And when they actually conjoin, it's not about screaming and shouting at each other. It's about getting physical. So people might actually get physical, do physical harm to others if this conjunction is happening in a very bad spot in your particular chart. Obviously, lot depends upon which dasha you guys are running, and originally where Mars and Rahu are placed in your chart. But it has that capability to actually do physical harm. And it is said in astrology that many criminals who actually do physical harm to others, they have this kind of conjunction in a very bad sign, in a very bad nakshatra, so it's a completely different equation. We cannot actually compare with what is happening right now in transit, right? So overall, it's going to be a very aggressive period. It's going to stimulate you to actually shout at others, to be a very what do you say, very aggressive, and wanting to have things whichever the house represents. So people lose patience during this period. They want to achieve things by hook or crook, and they are ready to take shortcuts, right? Even harm people in some cases, or even trick people to achieve things, right? So we have to be careful, and especially I would like to mention two signs which are Aries and Libra, right? So mesha rashi and Tula rashi, because for Aries this conjunction is happening in your ascendant or your first house, and it actually makes your nature quite aggressive during this period, right? So you'll be very angry, very aggressive, very short tempered. And because both Rahu and Mars are now aspecting the house exactly opposite to the first house, which is seventh house, the aggression is actually routed towards relationship. So if you are married, or if you are into a relationship, then this can actually cause a lot of damage, right? So you guys have to be extremely careful. And for Libra, it is happening in your own house, and because Libra represents relationship basically, so it is going to impact relationship. And for Libra, it is happening in the seventh house. So seventh house is the house of marriage, house of business partnership, house of relationship, and that house is directly going to get impacted. So you guys have to be extremely careful, extremely mindful of this conjunction. And whenever it actually instigates you, you have to be very careful not to get angry, not to actually shout at people. So what I'll do is, this conjunction is bad, but in a way this conjunction can actually give you that impetus to achieve things which are in general very difficult to achieve, right? So if you channelize your energy into different areas, rather than focusing on things which are quite sensitive, then you can this conjunction can actually give you that energy, that desire to achieve things beyond your imagination, right? So I would like to mention, when I go ascendant by ascendant, I would like to mention the areas where you guys have to be careful, and where these energies can be channelized so that you can achieve things. And the time would again pass, and you would actually be happy to achieve things, as well as your relationships will be saved from the damage which this conjunction is capable of doing, right? So now to start with Aries ascendant, right? So you guys have to be extremely careful because it is happening in your ascendant, right? So you will have extreme aggression, you'll have that desire to achieve things by hook or crook, and that might actually make you quite short tempered, right? And like I said, because both the planets are aspecting your seventh house, this aggression can be actually focused on relationship, on your marriage, on your spouse, right? So you have to be very careful during this period. So what you can do is actually, because Mars is a lot of your lagna, is in your lagna, and along with Rahu, you can actually work on improving your personality, on actually doing physical exercises, taking some courses to improve your personality, right? To learn new things, you can use that. And you can also, because Mars will also aspect, the fourth house, the seventh house, and the eighth house. And eighth house is its own sign of Scorpio, so you will have to be little careful while driving as well, because you might end up in small, accidents. Obviously it all depends upon your dasha, but there is a possibility. So focus the energy on improving yourself, on improving your personality. You can improve your physical personality, your spoken skills, your communication, different fronts you can actually try to improve, and not focus the energy on relationship, because it can cause maximum damage, right? So be careful. Now for Taurus, Mars and Rahu conjunction is happening in their 12th house, and this conjunction is aspecting, this both planets are aspecting your 6th house, right? And originally Mars is a lot of your 12th and 7th house, right? So again the 7th house is now involved here, and 7th house is Scorpio, which is again lorded by Mars itself, right? So again I would say be careful with your relationship, because it can cause damage. And the points which might instigate the difference of opinion with your partner, or your spouse, maybe spendings, maybe traveling. So during this period you have to be careful with spendings, so don't overspend, because you might encounter situations which might where you might have to spend a lot of money, right? So be prepared for that. Already Rahu in the 12th house is actually giving you a lot of expenses, and Mars is going to add to that. And if you are planning for taking long distance travel, then I would suggest to avoid if it is possible. And if at all you have to go, then be very careful, be very mindful, plan properly, and then you can do things. Now from 12th house, it is aspecting the 6th house. So during this period you will be very aggressive on your enemies as well, and you would also try to correct your routine, which might have gone out of track, because Ketu is sitting in your 6th house, right? So Ketu has a capability, it generally actually spoils the routine of a person. It makes a person a little lazy. Now that Mars is aspecting your 6th house along with Rahu, you can actually work on that. And be a little careful with your enemies. Don't be over aggressive with them, because it might backfire on you. Now this particular conjunction is actually very good for people who are of imaginative nature, and who are writers, right? So for them this is going to be very good, for cinema writers, and writers of fiction novels. It's going to be a very good one for them, right? And as I said, if you're traveling, then do some remedies for Mars and Rahu, and only then you can travel. That would be good for you. Now for Gemini, this particular conjunction is happening in your 11th house, and it's going to be a little tricky, right? Now Rahu is already in the 11th house, giving you some gains, some monetary gains, right? And when Mars, the lord of your 11th house, comes to the 11th house and conjoins Rahu, then this conjunction is actually going to give you a feeling that I need to change my job, or I'm not getting the money which I deserve, so I'm being underpaid, or I should look out for a job which will fetch me more money, or I should get out of the business and look for a new business wherein I'll get very good returns. So it's a good thought, because 11th lord in the 11th house, already Jupiter is in the 10th house. So the lord of 10th house in the 10th house, the lord of 11th house in the 11th house. It's a very good one, especially for your career. It's very good, right? So if you are planning for change in the job, this is the right time you can actually do. If you're into stock markets and other speculative areas, then this is also going to be a very good one for you. You can get a lot of good gains, but again you have to be careful because Rahu is involved and Ketu is sitting in the fifth house. So be a little careful. Yes, you can invest, you can surely invest, but be careful where you are investing your money, right? And then you'll have very good returns. If you're looking for change of job, if your dasha supports, then this is the ideal time for you to actually look out for change in the job. You will get a wonderful package. If you were planning to start any new business, get into new areas, then this is the time, right? Plan for it and then you can go ahead. And be a little careful with your social circle or networking circle, because during this period you will be meeting with a lot of people, and because Rahu is involved, you might also encounter people who might actually try to take unfair means to achieve things. So you have to be careful on that front. Otherwise it's a very good conjunction for you guys, right? Now for Cancer, Mars and Rahu conjunction is actually happening in a 10th house, and it aspects the 4th house, right? Mars is a lot of your 10th and 5th house. It is a yoga karaka planet for you. Now because it is happening in the 10th house where Mars is extremely careful, Mars receives its directional strength, right? So this conjunction of Mars and Rahu will actually help you a lot in your profession. Now one thing you need to take care is don't get ego issues in your way, because it will give you that issues. It will give you the feeling that either your colleagues or your reporting manager is actually not they don't deserve that position and you deserve more than them, right? It will give you that feeling. So don't let that feeling creep in, because if that happens, then this conjunction is capable of doing a lot of damage. Now where you can channelize this energy, because it's going to be a very good one, it's in the 10th house where Mars has wonderful directional strength, and because it's in the sign of Aries, naturally it has the capability to do tremendous good. So these are the times where you can actually expect promotion at your job. So my advice would be focus on the areas of improvement or areas of your aspiration. So if you're working anywhere and you had long-standing desire to get into a new project, get into new technology, new domain, learn new things, or get certified on certain areas, then this is the time where you can actually utilize this tremendous energy which is in the 10th house. Focus on that, and then you can achieve many things at your workplace, which will help you a lot when actually Mars transits to the next sign, right? It will surely help you a lot. Now these two planets, Mars and Rahu, are actually aspecting your 4th house. So you will have to be a little careful. Don't try to dominate at your home, especially don't try to dominate your mother. Otherwise your relationship with your mother would be spoiled, right? So be a little careful, because it's a very sensitive issue, and this conjunction will actually drive you to become aggressive. So it's very easy to say that don't get aggressive, but it's very difficult to do because these kind of things, they happen suddenly, right? So you have to be very mindful and in control. So channelize your energy in the proper areas so that you don't actually think of other things, and then you can achieve many good things, right? Now for Leo ascendant, Mars and Rahu conjunction is happening in the 9th house, and it aspects the 3rd house. So the 3-9 axis would be quite active during this period, and Mars is the lord of your 9th and 4th house. So Mars is a yoga karaka planet for you, right? So it's a very good conjunction. Now one thing is, it will give you a feeling that my future is not quite secure. So it's just a feeling, my future is not secure, or I have to do many things in the future and I'm actually not there. So I need to work very hard actually to get there, and Rahu will actually tempt you, or Rahu will push you to take all unfair means, to progress. So don't do that. And during this period, you can also probably take long distance travels, right? Now, if you are into, if you are a reader or writer, this is a very good time for you. So if you are a writer, or you are into communication industry, or you publish things, then this conjunction is very good, because the 3-9 axis would now be active, and the energy of Mars and Rahu would now be actually focusing on the third house of courage. So courage would be all time high, during this period. And Sun is already in your 11th house, lot of your ascendant. So already you already have a lot of courage, and this conjunction is going to give you a lot of courage, right? So channelize the energy in a proper way. If you're planning to start something new, in business, then this is the right time, because third house represents starting of new things, right? Initiation of new things. So you can do that. You can learn again. You can go for higher studies. So if you are a student and you are planning to go for higher studies and you are not very clear, then this transit of Mars will give you that clarity, and will also if you are planning to travel out of country, then this conjunction will actually help you to achieve that. So your visa processing and everything you can plan to do during this period. Obviously, your dasha should be supportive, but this transit and conjunction is very, very helpful for getting visa to foreign lands, right? So utilize it properly. Now for Virgo ascendants, this is happening in the 8th house. So Mars and Rahu are going to conjoin in the 8th house, and they'll be aspecting the 2nd house. So it's a little tricky conjunction for you. Now, if you are involved in any sort of research work, then this conjunction is very good. This conjunction is also very good for doctors, especially because they'll have a lot of good achievements during this period, right? Now, the areas which you have to be careful is, you have to be careful with your in-laws, because this conjunction is happening in the house of in-laws, which is the 8th house, and you might have ego issues with them. You might also have some sort of heated discussion with them, which would actually impact the relationship in long term. Also, Mars and Rahu are aspecting the 2nd house of family and speech. So during this period, your speech will be quite aggressive, and you will have that dominating tendency towards your extended family, right? So you need to be mindful and restrain, yourself from actually getting aggressive, or aggressively talking to your family members. Otherwise it will impact the relationship in long time. Now you also have to be careful with investments during this period, because Rahu would actually try to trick you to invest your money in a place where you can quickly get returns, but that might not actually be the case, right? So once Mars transits out of your 8th house, then probably your money might be stuck. So be little careful on that front, right? And if you're into insurance sector, then this conjunction is also going to help you a lot, right? Be little careful while driving vehicles, because you might end up with some small accidents. You have to be careful on that front as well. And during this period you will actually get a lot of interest in occult, in occult studies, or studying things which are quite secretive in nature. So if you have the tendency, yes, you can go for that, right? Now coming to Libra, this Mars and Rahu conjunction is happening in your 7th house, and it aspects your ascendant, right, your 1st house. And Mars is a lord of your 7th and 2nd house. So Mars is the lord of your two Maraka houses, namely the 2nd and the 7th house, right? Now, because it is happening in the 7th house, a clear indication is that you should avoid any sort of discussions, heated discussions, ego related issues, or fights with your spouse, because this conjunction has capability to do immense damage in your relationship, in your marriage, or even in your business partnership, right? So be extremely careful during this period. And because it is aspecting your ascendant, it will make you aggressive and very short tempered. So be very careful. Like I said in the beginning, Aries and Libra ascendants, they have to be extremely careful. Now, where can you channelize your energy, right? So you can actually plan for some new ventures. You can start doing research if you are planning for that. If you are into job, you can look at things where you're falling short of, you're not there, and then you can actually start learning things. You can take any online courses to learn things, and you can focus and channelize your energy there. You can also work on your physical fitness and emotional fitness as well during this period, and it will actually help you to traverse through this rough patch of aggression, right? So be very careful with your marriage especially. Now for Scorpio ascendants, this Mars and Rahu conjunction is happening in your 6th house, right? And it aspects the 12th house, right? And Mars is a lot of your ascendant and your 6th house. So in the 6th house, both Mars and Rahu are quite comfortable. And Mars obviously is a lot of your ascendant, and it's in the other sign which it owns, right? So this conjunction is going to be a very good one for you. So if you are actually involved in any court cases, then this conjunction with the intelligence of Rahu can help you actually to make tremendous progress during this period. So try to avoid taking unethical means because Rahu is involved. But if Rahu is giving you some clever suggestions, you can surely use that, right? And this conjunction is actually very helpful for political leaders, and we can see a lot of political turmoil happening all over the world during this period, right? So it's a good one, and because it is aspecting your 12th house, don't invest your money anywhere, and don't go for loans if at all you have any plan. If you can avoid that, avoid, because if you take any loans or anything, then you will end up paying the loans for a very long period of time. So refrain from that. You will be very active in your job as well, and you can actually work on your physical fitness, because this conjunction will actually help you to overcome the diseases which you're facing from quite some time, right? So a good one for you. Utilize it properly. Now for Sagittarius ascendants, this Mars and Rahu conjunction is happening in your 5th house, and it aspects the 11th house. So the 5-11 axis would now be very active, and it is the lord of your 5th and 12th house, right? Now one thing is, if you are involved in cinema field, then this conjunction is going to help you immensely, right? So it will help you to get some new roles in new movies, and these roles will be very dynamic in nature, and they'll give you very good returns. So you be very active. Look out for that kind of roles. Obviously, you will have to look at your dasha, but this conjunction will give you that opportunity. Now, this conjunction will actually help you. So if you are in like IT field or any other field, it will help you to actually learn new technology, your change of domain, learning new domain. So all those things are actually they become very active, and you can plan for any certifications if at all you are planning for, right? Now don't be too aggressive with your children, because it's happening in the 5th house. It will give you a lot of you'll become over ambitious with your children, and you'll have the feeling that your children should be the best. They should achieve, they should be the toppers in the class, or they should learn all sorts of new things. So refrain from that. Be logical, I would say, and obviously don't become too aggressive towards your children. Now if you are involved in share markets or any speculative business, or speculative career, then this conjunction and aspect will actually help you a lot. So be a little careful, but otherwise this conjunction is going to help you a lot, especially in this field of field of speculation, and share market, it is surely going to help you, right? So a good one, especially for people in cinema fields like actors, writers. It's a very good one for you guys. Now, coming to Capricorn ascendant, this Mars and Rahu conjunction is happening in the fourth house, and this conjunction aspects your 10th house, and Mars is a lot of your fourth and 11th house, right? So, Mars is not very comfortable in the fourth house because it loses its directional strength in the fourth house, right? So, it's like a soldier being put in the home to take care of homely affairs, right? So, Mars is not very comfortable, but because Rahu is there, now this conjunction will actually make you aggressive at your home, right? So you may keep shouting, at your parents or your spouse or your children. That kind of aggressiveness this conjunction can give you at your home place. So you may get insecurity with some property matters. So don't worry much about that. It's just a temporary phase. Now what you can do is, because this conjunction is focusing on the 10th house, you also channelize your energy towards 10th house of your career. So if you are in any sort of career or business, then try to improve on that front rather than focusing your energy and wasting it in the domestic affairs. Channelize your energy in the 10th house. So try to achieve things, try to work hard, because there is a lot of energy. Mars and Rahu is huge energy. So focus the energy there, and then you will be able to achieve quite good things in your career, right? And that way you'll also go through this time without getting disturbed and creating a very unpleasant environment at your home place, right? Now, coming to Aquarius, Mars and Rahu conjunction is happening in the third house, and third house is Upachaya houses where both Mars and Rahu are quite comfortable. And Mars is the lord of your third and the lord of your third and 10th house, and this conjunction is again aspecting the 9th house. So again the 3-9 axis is getting activated. Now this conjunction in the third house will give you a lot of courage. So you'll see that you are oozing with courage during this time. You are oozing with confidence and you want to achieve something, right? Now you have to channelize this energy properly. Don't get too aggressive towards your siblings or your friends or your neighbors. So that is one area where you need to take care. Now, where you can channelize the energy is if you were planning to start something new, or you are planning to get into some new field. You are planning, and this is the right time for you to start working on implementing those things, right? Because Mars here along with Rahu will actually help you to achieve many good things, right? And again, because 3-9 axis is getting activated, if you are in the field of writing, publishing, journalism, communication, this conjunction will help you a lot, because third house also represents your communication, and your communication is going to be quite confident, quite aggressive as well, and you'll be very focused and very clear, what you need to communicate. So use it properly, because it's happening in a very good house, and then you can achieve many good things. And because 9th house is also getting activated, you might, and even third house, so it also indicates travel. So if you have to travel, take short distance travel or long distance travel, you can surely take. They will actually yield you very, very good results. So don't worry about that. If at all you have to travel for your business or for your job, just go ahead and travel. It will actually yield you very good results, right? Now, coming to the last ascendant, Pisces, this Mars and Rahu conjunction is happening in the second house, and it aspects the 8th house, and Mars is the lord of your second and 9th house, right? So again, this is a little tricky, because it is happening in the second house. It is going to impact your communication, your speech. So your speech will be very aggressive towards your family members, because second house represents extended family. And if at all there are any issues with the ancestral property, you need to handle it with lot of care. So you can surely make very good progress, but you have to handle that with lot of care. Don't get into aggressive mode, because this is going to drive you into that mode. So don't get into aggressive mode. And this conjunction in the second house can actually give you a lot of gains, a lot of monetary gains, right? And also probably your ancestral property matters can be solved during this period, or you can make tremendous progress provided you actually control your aggression and your speech, right? So that is one area. Now from second house, it is aspecting the eighth house, right? So during this period you might actually be again aggressive with your in-laws. You might actually you might discover some secrets during this period which were actually hidden from you, and these secrets might actually kind of make you again very aggressive, right? So deal with it with proper with proper attitude, so that it will not disturb you, right? So that's all I have to say. So guys, be very careful with this conjunction. It is going to make you angry. It's very easy to say that be very careful, but you need to plan thoroughly, and especially Aries and Libra ascendants, you have to be careful, because your relationship is at stake right now. So don't become very aggressive, very dominating, in your relationship with your spouse, or any other relationship, or even business partnership. You have to be very very careful, and try to channelize energy into different fields which you like, or your ambitions, or whatever fields I mentioned. You can channelize your energy there, and you can achieve many good things, right? So thank you guys for listening to my video. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be back with another video, and I'm planning to make video on retrograde Saturn in the sign of Capricorn. So when Saturn now is retrograde in the sign of Aquarius, and on 12th of July, I believe it's going to come back to Capricorn. So whenever Saturn, it actually travels from one sign to another, and then it retrogrades and comes back to the previous sign. It has a lot of significance. So probably I'll be making that video in some time. So thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with another video. Thank you.